Let's talk about the coach who we think will be in charge when this team finally does decide who their head coach will be. It broke about 1 minute, 2 minutes into the game tonight, courtesy of Paul Tenorio of The Athletic, who was first to report that Gregg Berhalter is set to return as U.S. men's national team manager. We are expecting an announcement potentially as soon as tomorrow, which is maybe already today, depending if you're watching this. Oh, no, it is confirmed. Confirmed now, producer Beto says we will get an announcement tomorrow. Holy mackerel, Herc, a lot to unpack here. Where do you want to start?
I mean,
I know you don't think it's the right choice.
I don't, but I think it's a waste of time and resources. You hired a firm to do this, to hire Matt Crocker to get back to the guy that was already there. And after everything that happened, we understand some players want him back. What about the players who don't want him back? You know, you could assume what you want of who those players are. But we've heard so many names linked with the U.S. men's national team job. It just seems like there's a lack of ambition for actually trying to get a coach who can change the program. This is where the program was. You want to change the way people view American soccer. You want to change the program. Gregg Berhalter doesn't speak that, doesn't scream that to me, and that's where I'm a little lost on this. I'm very surprised. I am very surprised we are here today with Gregg Berhalter as a realistic option. The turn of events in the last 24 hours, I can't remember something like this. Just the coaching news. It's just today, Jesse Marsch, no longer in. Patrick Vieira, one of the top candidates. All of a sudden, Gregg Berhalter from Futbol Americas to the U.S. men's national team in the same breath. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say besides that this just screams lack of ambition to me.
Yeah, I'm with you on the ambition thing. I think this also comes down a lot to process, right? Because when Gregg Berhalter was hired the first time, the complaints were not necessarily about Gregg Berhalter, the candidate or the choice. It was about the process. So you would have thought that this time around, U.S. Soccer would make sure that there were no doubts about the process. And on paper, Herc, it seemed like they did. It seemed like they took the decision to hire Sportsology, hire Matt Crocker. And so you think, okay, you've kind of created this entirely different environment. There's a 0.0% chance that you're going to end up at the same conclusion. And yet, before Matt Crocker officially takes this job over full time, we've already decided that it's Gregg Berhalter. The process just, things aren't adding up here. And I think that's what fans are going to complain about.
Well, that's one of the things they'll complain about. It's an underwhelming hire for what fans were conjuring up in their minds could be a possibility.
You really don't believe Berhalter can at all move this program forward?
Sure.
Do you think he's taken them as far as he could? Because that's really the question. If you think he can take them further, then there's room for debate.
What I don't think is he can take them the furthest, and that's where I think fans will agree and will be upset with this.
Right.
This to me is
the
a
ambition.
neutral move.
Yeah, it's the ambition.
Yes.
You mentioned. I think money is an important thing here, right? Because we heard from JT Batson, the CEO, at the very beginning of this process, and he kind of hinted that not that there was no budget, but that there would be money coming into the federation. That money wouldn't necessarily stop them from talking to people. This is a guy, we know Gregg Berhalter, we know what he makes. We know it's not going to break the bank at U.S. Soccer. Obviously, you'll get a raise here, you would figure, because they're bringing him back. But you would have liked to see U.S. Soccer say, you know what, we know we have a massive World Cup, and we really value this World Cup. We have to nail this, and the budget is $5, $10, $20 million, whatever it's going to be, and go out and get that guy.
It's a massive waste of time and resources. Like, the fact that you're here right now with Gregg Berhalter, it seems
like... Do you give them credit for at least taking 6 months to try to look?
No.
Or do you say, now if you were going to bring him back, what the hell were you doing for the last 6 months?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I almost feel like you just got played.
Right.
It feels like there's a reason that all these call-ups from Anthony Hudson and the call-ups from BJ Callahan were very Gregg Berhalter-like, not just because they were part of his regime, but maybe Gregg Berhalter all along had some form of communication or was involved in some way. Maybe they knew they would get here somehow, some way. And if it is Gregg Berhalter, why is BJ Callahan coaching the CONCACAF Nations League? Will Gregg Berhalter now take over the Gold Cup? Like, there's so many questions that I have, but it just seems like a massive waste of time and resources and energy.
Do you feel like U.S. Soccer might have been pressured into this decision, and here's why I ask that. We have heard from so many agents around who is going to be the next manager for the men's national team. Of course, Jesse Marsch, his agent was online earlier today saying he's not going to get the job. That's not the type of behavior we usually see. Everybody's usually very close to the vest in these situations, but the agents were very loud on all sides. I wonder if the agents were sitting here saying, man, U.S. Soccer's really taking their time. We want to get Gregg Berhalter linked to Futbol Americas and Jesse Marsch linked to Monaco, and we want to make U.S. Soccer rush. And maybe U.S. Soccer shouldn't have rushed. Maybe they shouldn't have blinked. Maybe they should have said, you know what? If those guys get those jobs, fine, we'll move on to the next. But we are going to take our time. To me, this just feels rushed and almost like they got played not by the other interest, right? By thinking, oh, we might lose Gregg to Futbol Americas, we might lose Jesse to Monaco. And that's not how you make a decision. That's not how you make a good decision.
No, you don't make rash decisions when you're talking about your future. When you're talking about 2026, which is the most, or will be the most important moment in American soccer. It's a reality. If 1994 was that watershed moment, was that turning point, that party in the waters for U.S. soccer, 2026 has the ability to blow that out of the water. We're in a different time. This phone changes everything. This tablet, the news source, changes everything. Today, more than ever, you can accrue new fans. You can make headway in a market that you've never had before. And Gregg Berhalter doesn't scream, look at us. We can go further.
I wonder if he gets the 3 years. You know, that's the one thing. You take a decision like this, it does leave you an out, right? I'm sure it'll leave U.S. soccer an out. If things go wrong in Copa America, if things go wrong in the Confederations Cup or whatever's going to be in 2025, there will be opportunities to make a change. We saw from Mexico, they didn't make a change. We saw how that worked out.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.